Hello. Today I'd like to share with you some of my insights on conscious awareness. I had a recent visit to Georgia, the country, and I had a very profound experience. So I had this beautiful, I'm going to share the story with you, right? I had this beautiful guide, and he was taking me around the country. We were going to the mountains and we were visiting villages and we were staying with village people in their homes and we were staying in guest houses in different places. And so he explained to me that in their country, the wine is a sacred drink, and that if you're offered it in somebody's home, that it's like respectful to accept. If you do take a drink, it's respectful to accept, because it's not like drinking other alcohol. They respect it and they do a toast each time that they're going to have a drink. And they would have one person at the table nominated as the tamada, who is the person who hosts the toast. And there's something very healing about it, because it first of all, people get to sit and like express freely their emotions and their feelings and to talk about anything they're processing. And secondly, nearly every time there's one of the guys will do a toast for women. They really honor women, like genuinely from the heart. They really honor women. Like they'll say that they want to honor their mothers and their sisters and their wives and their daughters because they bring children into the world, and that they're very respected. And I noticed that this created a really beautiful balance with divine masculine and divine feminine. Probably partly because the men were also really able to like sit and talk about their emotions and feelings and really share. And the amazing thing is, it's not just like do a toast and say something that you're grateful for or something that you're happy about. Like you can do a toast and express something that's weighing heavy on you, and that's received with just as much joy, because they're really pleased to be able to share your burden with you, because then it's a burden halved and they can help you through it and you're not alone. And so the first time that this was happening, I didn't really understand what it was about, and I was asked to give a toast, and I said, can we skip me, because I don't really know what to say, because I'm not really sure what's it all about. And they were so genuinely concerned, like really from the heart, genuinely concerned. And they were like, let me look in your eyes. You must be carrying a great burden if you can't just speak freely from your heart. You don't need to think about anything. If you're thinking, you're in your mind. And really, this is from the heart, just to share what's on your heart. There's no right answer and there's no wrong answer. And I never felt, I don't know, the way they just held this absolute genuine space for me, and the way they genuinely cared, made me cry. So, so I cried, and then I couldn't stop crying. And then it was a crying of like really feeling like this absolute coming home in my heart, coming home to myself. And I was thinking in my mind, like, I always knew this. I always knew this feeling. It was my first time experiencing this feeling. And it was a real remembering. And so I realized that we can do this to each other. So next time that a person that you find annoying, or that you don't want to be around, or that make you uncomfortable. Maybe they have different political views. Maybe they come from a different country that you're supposed to be fighting with. Maybe there's like some kind of division. Maybe you believe that they rob you of your peace. Any of these thoughts or feelings that bring you further away from unity, they don't serve us. And so if we can find a better point of view, and now in this expanded consciousness of awareness that we are entering as the new earth is evolving, it's easier for us to have a greater perspective. And we can see, by just holding space and seeing this other person or other place or other thing in this divine intelligence that they are, and really understanding that I am you and you are me, and we're all just reuniting with our higher selves. Because now, as we're becoming more light body, the higher self is reconnecting with us, which is what we are, but we forgot. And we thought this persona or this image or this shadow that was playing the role in the 3D matrix world with all the programs and conditions, we thought that was who we were. But now we're remembering that this higher self, divine conscious light, is actually who we are. And as that's merging together, we're able to see that these stories and role plays that we're all playing out are just gifts to mirror back to us where we are at in terms of letting go stuff so that we can reconnect with the divine of who we are. And so the next time that somebody is making you feel uncomfortable, or that you would prefer, rejecting them, resisting them, preferring they would go away, if you can really, really, truly go into your heart and see this divine love that they are, what you'll find is that your nervous system can relax, their nervous system can relax. The story no longer needs to play. And in the witnessing and the acknowledging of the divine love, you can transmute the story. Just like we can do with our own bodies. Like if you have a pain and you wish it would go away, you're resisting it, you're frustrated by it, and then you might think you have a back pain, but maybe it's not even a back pain. Maybe it's coming from a locked diaphragm. Maybe it is breathing restrictions. Maybe if you just focus on breath work and really expand out those ribs, you can relieve your back pain. But you never thought about that because you were just pushing it away. You weren't sitting with it. You weren't feeling it. You weren't being with it. You weren't listening to it. And so if we can avoid all the distraction and just sit in a little bit more conscious awareness and remember that we are light bodies, all that trapped energy within us can dissolve into light and just pass through the 0 point of the heart and get transmuted, like alchemy turning lead into gold, get transmuted into a higher dimension. And then it's not oscillating in your field anymore. So you no longer need to keep re-experiencing other situations, scenarios that are mirroring back this energy that's oscillating in your field because it's no longer there. And we can even do that with the land as well, because the land also needs you to witness and acknowledge the trauma that has been put in there over the years, the history, ancestral trauma trapped in the land, and we can sing to it, or we can hum to it, or we can tone to it, but we don't even have to. We can just sit and from a real heart-to-heart space witness and acknowledge it and just be there with it. And in the presence, it has an opportunity then to transmute because it's been seen. And there's a great healing in it. And so in this time of Christ consciousness, where we're all ascending into unity and oneness and returning to source, we need each other, and we need to see each other, and we need to move out of judgment and move into forgiveness and just find a better perspective where we can just really sit and honor each other and recognize the divine in each other. And that way we can all help each other home to source, taste the oneness of source in unity.